The subject today is Mahamaya. We discussed this and we thought we would have the chance for Divine Mother. So we'll do Jai Shri Durga. It's in the little books that have those little booklets. And we'll chant to all 4 Devis, including, and we'll also add Shagama as well, of course. But we'll start with a chant. So, Om Sato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, Jai Shri Durga. We'll do this liberal adaptation from a Krishna class song. Now we'll do Will That Day Come to Me, Ma? by Prashad, and that's the English translation by Ramakrishna-Vivekanada. That's also in the little booklet. You need one? Booklet? Yeah. Can somebody give? I'm sorry. That's okay. Here we messed up. The most important person didn't get one. That's okay. That one was easy. This one's a little more difficult, so you probably need to learn.
It's 8:16.
So we'll do this one. Will that day come to be mine? Will that day come to be mine? When saying mother dear, my eyes will flow tears. When saying mother dear, my eyes will flow tears. Wisdom's rose will blossom forth, darkness will steal away. Wisdom's rose will blossom forth, darkness will steal away. Steal away, steal away, steal away, ma, steal away. Steal away, steal away, steal away, ma, steal away. A thousand raiders to England, divine mothers everywhere. A thousand raiders to England, divine mothers everywhere. Sweet Ramakrishna, divine mother everywhere stays. Sweet Ramakrishna, my mother everywhere stays. Blind eyes see the mom hiding everywhere. Blind eyes see the mom hiding everywhere. Will that day come to me, Mom? Will that day come to me, Mom? When saying mother dear, my eyes will flow tears. When saying mother dear, my eyes will flow tears. Hearts will still blossom forth, darkness will steal away. Hearts will still blossom forth, darkness will steal away. Steal away, steal away, steal away, ma, steal away. Steal away, steal away, steal away, mom, steal away. A thousand raiders in England, divine mothers everywhere. A thousand raiders in England, divine mothers everywhere. Sri Ramakrishna says, divine mother everywhere stays. Sri Ramakrishna says, my mother everywhere stays. Blind eyes see the mom hiding everywhere. 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 Now we'll go from Divine Mother to Brahma. So into Brahma. Seems like a logical way to go. Ramanandam sadisham tatvamasya nilashyam ekam nityam vimalam achalam sarvadi sashivakam avadikam Vigunaradikam Sadguru Tamamari Sadguru Tamamari Brahmanandam Paramas Shukaram Kevalam Jnanamurti Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadisham Tatvamasya Nilashyam Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadi Sashivakam Avadikam Trigunaradikam Sadhu Sadguru Samadhi, full of bliss, giving joy transcendent of higher knowledge, clear as the heavens, known to all as thou art, that He is pure. The everlasting seer of all are far beyond qualities and form. Lord, I bow to Thee. Lord, I bow to Thee, full of bliss, giving joy transcendent of higher knowledge, clear as the heavens, known to all as thou art, that He is pure, firmament unmoving, the everlasting seer of all, far beyond qualities of all. Lord, I bow to Thee. Lord, I bow to Thee. Since we have a little more time, because we don't want to lose our audience to starting at 6 for your time, we'll do Ramakrishna Sharanam. Do you guys want to use any of the things to make sounds? Would you like a symbol or anything? No?
I think it's
No, it's okay. We can all laugh. We can just. Okay, Ramakrishna Sharanam. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Sharanye. Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Sharana Gaitoham, Sharana Gaitoham, Sharana Gaitoham Vande. Sharana Gaitoham, Sharanam Sharanye. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye Prabhu Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, 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 Ram Krishna. Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye, Prabhu Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Sharanye. Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Sharanye. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Sharanagay tuham, Sharanagay tuham, Sharanagay tuham, Bhante. Sharanagay tuham, Sharanagay tuham, Sharanagay tuham, Bhante. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Sri Gurave, Namo Namo. Jai Jai Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Prabhu Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharanye. Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, Ram Krishna, Jaya Ram. Ram Krishna, Jaya Jaya, 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 Ram Krishna, Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharani. Get ready for what y'all been waiting for. Yes.
Should we wait till 6? Or not?
No, we said 5, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll start with a quote that I found in a book in our library called Divine Communion, and it was written by Swami Nishwananda, who was one of the early swamis in the United States, disciple of Raja Maharaj. Thou art the mother of this entire universe. Thou art the only source of strength and power. Thou art the one cause out of which this universe, with all its variety, has emanated. It is through thy love that this beautiful universe is kept in order and unison. Then from the Chandi, O thou of irresistible power, thou art the sole support of the world as the substance of earth. Thou sustainest it as the substance of water. Thou art the divine energy of infinite potency, the seed of the universe, the supreme Maya. All things are in delusion, O Divine Mother. When thou art gracious, thou art the way to liberation. Now, if we can just take a moment to contemplate that divine power that is apparent and beyond the apparent, which we call Brahman. It is the substratum of everything. It's the cause without a cause. For me, that is extremely hard to get my head around because it is beyond words, beyond thought, beyond anything that we can describe, because as soon as we start describing, we have lost that connection. But to try and put ourselves in at least to imagine that time or space without time or space, where things are, they just are. And what happens then? Suddenly, or not suddenly, according to all the religions, the sun, the moon, the stars, they're all created. The world is created. But how does it get created? Does it come out of nothing? Or has it always been? According to Vedanta, it is the manifestation of Brahman. And the power that manifests that is the Divine Mother, the Shakti power, the Great Mother, the Mahamaya, the one that creates the first whole drama that we are living in. From out of that Mahamaya comes everything that we know. It comes all of the gods and goddesses that we know, all of the divine and entities that we worship, that we see, nature, even to the point of where, when I was younger, I think they still are. They had the concept of Gaia, which was the earth itself is a living being. The whole planet is a living being that we need to take care of. This is all manifestations of the Divine Mother, Mahamaya. But why does she do it? Why did she do this? Because here we are, we can't remember who we are. We can't remember where we came from. And we're rather distracted by all of the things that she has created. We look around and we see this. Okay. But this is the purpose of creating the play. She creates it so she can enjoy. I think I said yesterday at one point that it's very similar to a mother putting her child to play, or putting her baby down. And the baby's perfectly happy just by itself until it wants its mother. And then it cries, and the mother comes running. But until that baby is dissatisfied, the mother's perfectly happy watching the baby play, watching the baby do whatever it's doing, and being content with what's around it. The same way our Divine Mother is content to see us playing in this universe. She's very content because we're having a good time. And she's having a good time seeing that. At some point, the Divine Mother, Mahamaya, wants us to return to her when we've had exhausted ourselves playing. She wants nothing more than to take us in her lap. We know this on a much deeper level than our everyday thought. This is the vague emptiness that every person feels at some time or another. I think everyone who's on a religious path or seeking fulfillment has felt that vague emptiness. It's not anything you really put your finger on, but you just kind of go, there must be more. There must be something more than what I'm experiencing. There must be. And that feeling that nothing on earth, nothing of this earth can satisfy that feeling. That everything will leave us feeling a little like we want more. There's something more, something I haven't found yet. And that is what I think we would call the divine spark that sets us on our journey to find our real self, to remove the layers of the veils of ignorance that we are behind, that we live in every day. And I don't know that many of you don't know this, but when the center was started in Las Vegas, there was one woman who kept the center going, and her name was Mahamaya. Well, Swami Prabhupada thought that was the most wonderful joke, because nothing personifies Maya, the illusion, more than Las Vegas. Not the Las Vegas you live in, but the Las Vegas of the first time I walked down the strip. I went to Rome, I went to Paris, I went to Venice, and you didn't have to go anywhere, you were just there. And this is a gross manifestation of the illusion that we live in. And it's fun. It's really interesting to see it, and we can enjoy ourselves. But our everyday life is also an illusion that we live in. And however, we feel that much more acutely because we have identified with it. And we have identified that this is who I am, this is my life, this is what I do in the day. We have identified and created our identification with this illusion. Because in reality, We are Brahman. But we have form, we have personality, we have what we think is free will. We have what we consider, we can make decisions, we can decide what we're doing with our lives. But do we? How many of us have experienced that feeling like everything is going along and we decide that we're going to do this? Now, it may or may not work out, but did we really make that decision, or was it there? Because the Divine Mother really has set up everything so that our lives follow a path which lead us back to her. Now we may have to go through many lives to get along that path to where we get near her. But that is our whole basic goal of life. And that's what we're searching for constantly. We're all on that steady pace going home to Mother. And this is the way Mahamaya, the great delusion, has set it up. We are going back. We are going to be there. We're all going to get there. And we will get sustenance and contentment and wholeness when we get back to the Mother. We will, as we know ourselves right now, possibly not cease to exist, but we will not know that. We will be one with the universe and have complete wholeness. Our problem, as I see it, comes in thinking that we have control over our lives. The easiest way to get back to Mother is surrender to her and know that she is taking care of us, that everything in our life is going to be taken care of if we wait for her. Now, we do what she puts in front of us, we do our work, we do everything that comes to us. But in our heart of hearts, we know that her play, and we are going to be, we're playing a role in her theater. And this is the role we're playing this life. We've played many roles in our other lives. But this life, this is our role, and we have to be good actors. You have to do a good job of filling your role. You don't just kind of, because then the play is not fun. Everyone takes their role, but every single person on the planet is in the play. And they are all playing the role that was set up for them. So we can look at everyone in the universe and know they are necessary, they are one with us, they are our job. So we don't need to worry about things. If we can honestly get to the point where we truly feel that this is very real right now, but we do know that we're not really doing it. We're just, how do you explain? Have you done work, and at the end of the time when you have working finished, and everyone says, "Oh, look how much you've been doing," and you honestly feel that you haven't done anything? I think we've all felt that at one point or another. It's like that concentration that comes when you are, well, totally concentrated on what you're doing. I think it happens most easily in artistic endeavors, where you lose consciousness of time, space, everything, and it ceases to exist. And it does for that few minutes, or for that 2 hours. I mean, I've known artists who get to painting, and they don't hear anything, they don't see anything except what they're doing in front of them. And they have got that absolutely one-pointed. And then they come out and you go, oh, what happened all the time? Is that late already? But we all experience that doing something that we love. It may be out in nature hiking and you lose track of time just because it's so beautiful and you're reveling in just the sheer beauty of existence. This is all what my Mahamaya presents to us, to distract us. But she gives us hints at every point by letting us feel that concentration where the illusion disappears slightly. You get a taste of what could be, what really is, but we think it could be. So we pursue further. Well, that feeling, I want to get to that again. That utter peace, that utter contentment, that utter detachment from the extraneous things that are going on around us, where we are whole and complete in ourselves. And you're still doing things, but your concentration and your mind have gone beyond this plane. So, I think that's why we love to listen to music, because it also elevates us beyond our everyday thoughts. It fills your heart with a joy that you don't necessarily feel at all times. But when you have the music going on around you and you can feel the whole thing and everyone is doing the same thing, Ram Prasad's songs are gorgeous for that. But as Bharat Maharaj told me when I was in India, he said all songs can do that. All music can do it. Because if your mind is in the place where you're thinking of God when you're singing, I sat there listening to Bengali love songs from Bollywood. And he said, yes, but if you know they're speaking to the Lord, they're all holy songs. So if we can put our minds in a certain place, there's nothing unholy or holy in this world. Nothing. It simply is. And it's our minds that put judgments on things. Divine Mother just presents us with a playground. And how we're going to get through it is slightly up to us. I won't say completely up to us, but I'll say slightly up to us. So, Ramakrishna in the Gospel, of course, told us all of the things that, he told us over and over again how Brahman and Shakti are connected. The power and the base and the power. This is what we have to distinguish, because we can only experience the base the base which is Brahman, when we are in Samadhi. And then, as everyone says, everything ceases. No time, space, causation, no differences, no thought, no feeling. Deep sleep is the closest you can experience it. But you come out of deep sleep. So if we can use that kind of analogy of deep sleep, when you completely disappear, and I'm sure we've all had that experience. You go to bed, you toss and turn for a while, and you kind of right there on the surface, and then suddenly you don't experience anything. And then you wake up and you don't know what it happens to us hopefully daily. Sometimes not when we get our minds too engaged, but hopefully it happens daily. And we go, oh, I slept so well. But it's because all of our, the frequencies in our brain and our thinking powers have stilled. And so that's when we get complete rest. That's why the saints and Ramakrishna didn't have to sleep. They went into samadhi and everything rested. They came out refreshed. We read in the Gita, Arjuna was the man who conquered sleep. Well, that sounded so awful to me when I first heard it. I thought, does that mean you don't get to go to sleep at night? You can't. You're not supposed to sleep. You're supposed to pray all night. But when you get further into realizing that that's not what it says, it doesn't say you have to punish yourself and stay awake, try and stay awake all night. What you do is you cultivate the contemplation, cultivate the ability to concentrate and contemplate. You cultivate that. And maybe or maybe not, we still go to bed at night. I go to bed quite early at night. Get up early, but yeah, our bodies need that. And our minds need it. That deep sleep that gives us complete rest. Because we are as close to Brahman there as we can experience in this life. And that also is part of Mahamaya's teasing of us. Now you see, you feel that. Wouldn't you like to do that all the time? And then we wake up in the morning and we go, oh, but now I have to do this. And today is the day that I have to meet my walking buddy and we're going out walking. We have 4 guests coming today, so we have to get prepared for them. And we put ourselves right back into the play. But we are doing it. With Mother's help. She's offering us all kinds of things to distract us. And she keeps saying, here's another toy. Don't you want to look at that one before you come back to me? Wouldn't you like to look at this? Oh, have you been to, well, today Jeff took me up to the Red Rocks, which I adore. They're beautiful. I mean, you can feel holiness up there when you look at those. Look at what God has created, what the earth has created. You can experience the same thing by sitting down and closing your eyes and looking inside. But we tend to look outside because there's so much beauty out there. And we do want to experience it. But this is all a game of Mahamaya. I will say, kind of a game. She's really trying to entertain us. She created us. She wants us to enjoy ourselves. She wants us to come back when we're really tired. But do we get tired? Or do we kind of, gee, I feel good today, I can do this and that. And we keep going. And that's why I found it absolutely ironic that Swami Pravrajika named the person who took care of Las Vegas Center, Mahamaya. Because you walk into the casinos and those places, and it is so totally a playground. I mean, and they have put up entertainment, things to attract your attention, and they do. And people are in there going, what do I do next? What do I do next? Now, and that's how we go through our lives in the mother's playground. Now, not quite as blatantly as in the casinos or as actively, but it's what keeps us where we are. Someone was saying yesterday, how do you do with children? Children you talk about, but you tell them things, you lead them outward. But that's what we do. We do that with everyone. We build up babies' egos. We build up their senses. We build up, we do 1,000 things to pull them outside. And then once we have gotten the egos built up and the senses externalized, then they have to spend the rest of their lives trying to get rid of it, which is what we all do. However, I can't remember which, I think it was Swami Peak says, you have to have an ego in order to get rid of it. You have to know what one is before you can renounce it or work on getting rid of it. So it's nothing to be shunned. We all have egos. We all have a sense of self. We all have a sense of what we can do, what we can't do. It's when it gets out of hand and we believe that's what we are. But we do have these, and this is what spiritual life then says to try and do. Get rid of that ego, tame it, have control of it. When they said that, like the horses of an uncontrolled chariot are the senses, and the driver has to control those horses, get them under control, tame them so that you can go where you want to go. We have to know where we want to go, which is the other thing. One of our nuns, some fellow was there, and he was talking to her, and she says, if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. You just won't. You have to know where you're going to get there. She was, yeah. But so, and that knowing where we're going, where we want to go, is the thing that we have to keep back in our minds at all times. We don't have to think about it every single minute of the day, but we have to have it firmly established in our mind that this is where I want to go. And then we look at everything outside and we go, is that going to help me get there? Is that activity going to help me, or is it going to distract me? And yes, we get distracted. Of course we do. We're people. We're humans. It's just human nature. I decided it was to go. But she also gave us the power of determination that says, is this leading me where I want to go? Is it good for me? Not good for me, but that doesn't help me on my path. And if I go to this, if I decide to take a trip to, I'll tell you one that I wanted to go, there was a very, very inexpensive tour of China at one point because the Chinese government was trying to get tourists and they were offering extremely cheap trips. I mean, $1,000 for 10 days. That included the airfare, all your hotels and all your meals. Mm-hmm. And I went, wow. And I went to Swami Swahananda and I said, Swami, can I go to China? There's this. And he says, what does that have to do with Vedanta? And I said, well, not much, but it's so cheap. And Swami liked to go lots of places. He had traveled a lot. And so he said, how cheap? And I said, well, $1,000 for 10 days. And he says, oh, yes, you can go. Well, by the time I did that, that had sold out. So I had to do 12 days. But And yes, those kind of trips, because he had said, what does it have to do with Vedanta? I had that in the back of my head. And what I realized once I got there was that there were no tourists in China at that time because it was Spring Festival and lousy weather, February, very cold. And it was only Chinese tourists. They were all off work. And we were walking through all of these, the crowds were all Chinese. But you looked at them and you knew everyone. They were all recognizable as people you knew, which was a really strange experience. But I realized, yes, because we're all exactly the same. We are the same people. And you don't, they were all doing just what we were doing, enjoying the sights of their own country. And we were all on the same plane. Exactly. And it was very interesting because, so often we go in and we just look at places, and pilgrimages are the same way. We get a little too overbooked and we don't really feel the place. We go in and we say, yes, I went to the Taj Mahal, I went to Vrindavan, I went to Shivanath. Yeah, I went to them. But did I really experience it? Or did we just, go in and pranams and have darshan and go out and do something else? It's our inner attitude as we enjoy the play of Divine Mother. And we know it's play, but we always keep her in mind that this is her playground, and we are getting to be here. We don't have to we should enjoy ourselves and see everything that we are encountering as creations of the Divine Mother. So therefore there can be nothing that is not divine. What we are looking at may not be eternal, but the play is eternal. The objects won't be. But the whole idea of being in her playground, and you can enjoy, it's just like Ramakrishna said, that once you have surrendered to the Divine Mother, the whole world is a mansion of mirth. There, you don't fear, you don't suffer, you know that it is she. So, and you don't have to do anything but enjoy her creation. Because we can't really take care of anything or make great changes in the externals. We can tidy up our nest. We can, build our little nest that makes us feel right. And yes, that's good too, but we know we're doing it. It doesn't belong to us, it belongs to her. And so, in everything belonging to divinity, we take care of things. We're not the owners, we're not the managers, we're simply the caretakers. And it takes a lot of stress off our minds when we know we're just the caretakers. We're not the owners. It's not my house, my child, my husband. We're the caretakers, and we're put here to take care and love. Love the divinity in all of it. Why do the Ramakrishna mats and missions keep everything clean all the time? It's one of the things they do, because everything that we do every day is worship. Everything. Cutting vegetables, cleaning the floor, cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning the house, it's not just what you do in your shrine. It's everything. Everything that you do. One of our monks, he's gone now, but he used to, everywhere he went, in his pocket, he had a picture of Tako and Ma. And everywhere he went, he'd take them out and show them where they were visiting. And he, it was unconscious with him. He just took them out and said, we're visiting, this is what we're seeing now. But he kept, everything he did was for them. And it's funny how we can develop our own ways of doing this. That was his way. It's not mine. I can't do that one. But everyone has their own way of feeling that divinity and being with it all the time. And we have to look in ourselves and find what it is. How can we do it? Do we honestly keep our mind on worshiping God when we're chopping vegetables? Or do we start thinking about, well, what else I have to do for the day? And yeah, I do. I start thinking, what else do I have to do for the day? We all do. But if we have the awareness of what we're doing, we can bring our minds back. We can just bring our minds back gently. It's not anything, you're not doing anything wrong or bad or, it isn't. It's just human nature. It's being human. But if we want to uncover the divinity, we have to learn to bring our minds back to that. Just gently bring our minds back to where we want to be. And it takes a while because we spend a lot of time not doing that. And our parents helped us growing up to get us interested in life out there. So it takes us a while to retrain ourselves to think of God. Now, if you get really busy, I think it was Ramakrishna himself said, once in the morning and once in the evening. Once in the morning, acknowledge, I'm going out, take care of me. And once in the evening, I'm back. Thank you. I mean, it doesn't have to be a huge thing. And then, take care of me. Take care of me today, Mother. I may not think of you, but take care. Because that's, as it says, she wants nothing more than to bring you back to her lap. She wants you to play. She wants you to have fun. She wants you to be, to enjoy. But she also wants you to come back home to her. So if we just say, you take care of me, I don't know what's going to happen. That's one of the simplest ways to do it. Swami Sarvagatananda, in that book that I was showing you yesterday, he just said, anytime, we all have unwanted thoughts from the past, unwanted thoughts from our, from God knows where, that could pop up. And when you notice them, you just say, not today, not now. It's not, he says, you don't try to ever squash these things, because the more you try to suppress them, repress them, the stronger they get. And they're going to burst out somewhere. So what you try and do is replace them. Send them another direction. Never try and squash anything, because, we've all seen what happens when you put your hand over a hole that's got water coming out, and pretty soon things explode if you try to push them down. But if you just simply redirect, dig a little channel and let it go that way, then it's not there. It doesn't bother you anymore. So it has always been, I've always been taught, it's to sublimate, never to regress. Just change the direction of your thought, change the direction of your, not your goals. Don't change the direction of that, but change the direction of the things that are distracting you, that aren't leading you to where you want to be. And then once you have set the habit of remembering God at all times, and it may be on a semi-conscious level where if you have a mantra, the mantra just kind of revolves in your head. And when you stop thinking about things, that's what pops up. Or when you wake up in the morning, that pops up first thing. When you've set that kind of a habit, then you can pretty much enjoy doing anything because you have trained your mind to be in that direction. So, but it takes time. Especially, it's much easier. That's what Ramakrishna said. It's much easier for young people to do it because they have not created as many habits as we have. And habits are extremely hard to break, as we all know. And they're extremely hard to start. Start a new habit. Like, I'm not the greatest exerciser in the world. And starting a habit of a daily walk. Well, I can't say rain in Santa Barbara, we didn't have that much. Fog or sun, to get out and do that walk. Because some mornings, I know, the other morning, my walking buddy and I, we text each other and I said, "Is it too cold for you?" And she said, "Oh yeah." And so we didn't go. But we did the next day. We didn't get she said, "Oh, thank goodness, I was so tired." We're both kind of, she's a little older than I am, so. But, it's not anything, we just work on the habit. We work on creating the habit of walking every day. Another friend told us, "Well, you have the exercise gene." And I went, "I don't think so." Told my doctor that. He said, "What is the exercise gene?" I don't know. But we all do these things through our lives daily. We create habits. And we change our behavior, we keep a certain routine, hopefully a parameter. Of course, when you're in the centers or when you're in the convent or when you're in the monastery, that's a pretty set routine. But you also have it in homes. You have to get up and fix breakfast for the family. You have to get the kids off to school. You have to then clean the house. And if you work, then you have to go to work. And you have pretty set parameters also. And if we add that little bit that, like they said, Ramakrishna said, going in and acknowledging in the morning. If you have time, sit down and meditate a little. If you don't have time, you're too busy, acknowledge, "Mother, I'm going out to work today. I'm going to the world. Take care of me." I mean, isn't that what we've always asked our mothers to do? All of us. And we count on them and we trust them. We know they're going to take care of us. Even if they don't take care of us very well, we know they're going to take care of us as best they can. And so we have to think of the whole thing as our mother taking care of us, all of it. Because that is what I would call Mahamaya, the great, great mother. who wants us to be whole, wants us to be satisfied, wants us to be joyful, and wants us to want to come back to her, to want to be with her. Now, do we have any questions? Because I'm just.
Please. This is our final class, so now's the chance. What topic? You have a topic?
Yes.
On the topic of Mahamaya,
Mhm.
I agree. Sun City, AKA Sin City, is Mahamaya. But then Hollywood would be Mahamaya.
You know, when you look at it, could be, but I mean, it's just both are just really gross manifestations of the illusion. Really gross. All of us can see it. But also, movies, when you look at them, how involved can we get in them? And they're an illusion,
Right.
a total illusion. But we go to the movies and, I mean, we cry, we get excited, we're rooting for the person to do what's good. We get totally involved. So that's how we get totally involved in the great play. I mean, we just do. But those are, to me, wonderful, wonderful representations of what we're doing every day. When we go to the movies, when we watch television, this is all illusion. This is something someone wants to present to us. This is what life is. This is what these places on earth are. I mean, we watch documentaries or what. But when they're movies, and often they're giving wonderful, wonderful, well, not so much.
Not anymore.
I don't know. Anyway, we had, it's really an interesting lecture. We had a devotee lecture, and he was involved with the movie industry, and it was Hollywood, Vedanta, and Star Wars, I think. I think Dharmadas gave this lecture, and it was fascinating when you looked at all of the movies that had Vedanta principles in them. And they were not blatant, but Star Wars is the Mahabharata. Bagger Vance, which I don't know if any of you ever saw, it was a golfing movie, was the Bhagavad Gita. It was Arjuna and Krishna. And it's these subtle representations that are going throughout. A lot of the movie industry was very interested in Vedanta and read the books. And they did put the principles in their movies. Sometimes you don't, The Matrix.
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Exactly.
I mean, all of these things. What was that other one? It was a golf or baseball movie, and someone went into their locker room and there's Ramakrishna on the inside of the locker. I mean, it's a very, very subtly getting things, ideas across without pounding people on the head.
And truly, sometimes for certain crowds, that's the way to send the message.
Yeah.
The spiritual message, the teachings.
Yeah, well, and I mean, back in the days when I was watching movies, and they were cowboy movies, High Noon, very Vedanta. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, lust and greed personified. You know, and I mean, all of these things taught moral values in a very entertaining way. Now, some of the movies, not so much.
They
And
teach
so,
you moral value.
well, I don't
Some
know.
of them.
But those kind of things, those all are manifestations of how Mahamaya does it. And as I was saying, sitting in Bharat Maharaj's office in Calcutta, he was the manager, took the place of Swami Premananda. Swami Premananda died, and he greeted everyone who came to Bellarmine, took care of when he was playing Bollywood music, and I said, they sound like Bollywood love songs. Yes, they are. They are. But he said, all love songs are sung to God, if that's where your mind is. And I was thinking, yeah, okay. One of my favorite songs, It's a Wonderful World, done by Louis Armstrong. I love that song, and I think it's true. And he sang it at the height of the Vietnam War. The height of the Vietnam War. And he could sing, yeah, beautiful.
This song?
Huh?
I didn't know this song.
Oh, do you know the song?
Yeah,
Could you sing it for us?
no, I don't have the words here.
I see skies of blue,
Yeah.
red roses
I'll
too.
find it and I'll play it during
yeah.
dinner for you on YouTube.
Yeah, I
Louis, there's only one Louis version. Nobody else can do justice to that song.
Oh, no one can do it like he did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll play it for dinner.
Okay, yeah, I see people greeting people, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. And it's true. Everyone you go down and you see, when you walk down the sidewalk and you say, greet them, that's what you're really saying. I recognize you, I love you, you're a person.
Expressions of love.
Yeah, they're all expressions of love.
I came to that realization in my early 30s, and I tell you, it was liberating, because suddenly I realized, in a span of a few months, that all that longing that I had for love, someone to love, was really for me to love God.
Yes,
And that there
Absolutely.
are absolutely no barriers.
No.
I can do it anytime.
anytime, anyway, I mean, and there's a lot of old songs like, looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in all the wrong places. And it's true.
Absolutely.
We're looking for it outside, and it will never satisfy us.
And it's really something for God.
And I don't know if the people who wrote the songs even knew that. We had their heads there, but when you put a Vedantic sensibility on all of these things, it's true. You spend a lot of your life looking outside for something you can't find. And you have to look in to get satisfied.
And God answers that love.
Yeah, always.
With
Never
no limits.
disappoints.
Never disappoints.
Never disappoints. It's constant. But I mean, I started looking at all the songs that I grew up with.
Revisiting them.
And thinking about them in a different way, not thinking about, will I ever find my true love? When you're 16, 17. Yeah. But that isn't changing any of the world. It's changing your own sensibility, your own attitude, which is the only thing we can change. So, any other comments or questions? Doesn't have to be a question. Yes.
This whole thing about our, do we have self-will? It seems like maybe not, or maybe just a little, or you commented on it a little bit, or you have commented on it.
Yes,
but
I know.
My mind goes, yeah, a little, but maybe not, or yeah, we do, but no, we don't.
Well, we have a certain amount of self-will guided by discrimination, if hopefully it's guided by discrimination. Because we always have a choice. We always have a choice every single minute of the day, if we think about it. We have a choice the instant we open our eyes. What are we going to do? But we don't operate on that discriminatory level all the time, because so much is just autopilot. You get up, you go into the bathroom, you brush your teeth, and we don't actively choose those things. Those are just basic behaviors. But when you come into what to do each day, then you have choices. And you have choices of whether you are going to am I going to call the people that I need to call today? Or am I going to go out and garden, which I should do? And those are choices. Which is more important? Which is going to help more people, or which is going to help me? And we have those choices. Am I going to tell me what you would think you have a choice each day? Am I going to go do what?
Let me add to that, may I?
Uh-huh.
So I read Christ says that free will does not entail you can write the curriculum. And then he goes on to explain further, saying, yes, you make decisions that this is what I'm going to accomplish
Yeah.
in this incarnation, and the whole universe comes together to accommodate. Everything that needs to happen is going to happen to accommodate you on that path. But then you may change your mind once you are here in the Maya. You may forget, and certain seeds may germinate, and you decide, no, I don't really want to do that. And the limit is set. It says you can't write the curriculum. You can't suddenly become a murderer if you have advanced so far. Well, and to set yourself back, you will be stopped. So there's no free will there. So it sounds like there are mechanisms universally provided to each of us so that we can't do too much damage to ourselves.
Well, I would say that's probably true if you have chosen a path leading towards God. If you have not set a real goal in life, if your goal, well, actually, no, that's not true. If your goal is to make $1 million, sure, you can do it. And it takes perseverance and dedication. And that's what it takes to do spiritual life. But you have to know what your goal is. And yes, then, as long as you keep that in mind, everything you do will lead to that. Because if you want to make $1 million or you want to have 7 Cadillacs, I remember Reverend Ike, I don't know how many other people saw Reverend Ike in Los Angeles. You want that old Cadillac, you can get it. And it was true. It's all true. Because you set your mind to something that you want, you will get it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual. You know, it's like the gospel says, most people are driven by lust and greed. The greater majority of the world is driven by lust and greed. It all boils down to that. They either want money or they want power, fame, power, name and fame, lust and greed.
So in relationship to free will, how
Yeah,
would that work?
Well, because that's where you have the choice. What is your goal? What is your goal? And then you have a choice with everything you do each day. If you want that gold Cadillac, why darn you get to work, and you work hard, and you work consistently, and you do it. If you want God, then you set your soul, you set your mind to that, and everything you choose to do is what you will lead you to God. Now it's not work, it's working hard on your interior. But it's not like going out and earning money and having to do that. It's okay. Someone has just invited me to go see a Cirque du Soleil show. Is it one that will uplift my mind, or is it just a distraction? Could be either. It's what you have to discriminate with everything that where is this taking me? I mean, I've watched saints watch television. Okay, but their minds were not there. It was, once more, the show of Maya. They were not attached to it. It did not create some scars. It did not create vritis in their mind. They did not become attached or become emotionally involved. They could watch it as a play. We have so many expectations and so many judgments that we have made on how things should be and how people should behave. Well, there is no way they should behave, except as they know what it is doing to their path. That's the difficulty of becoming a Vedantist or taking up this kind of religion. It's hard work. It isn't just coming in and listening to talks. It isn't just coming in and reading books and then discussing them. That's not religion. Religion is, to quote Swamiji, is being and becoming. That's religion. All the other stuff is just the opening act. The real thing is being and becoming. Being who you are and becoming the best. Coming into full knowledge of Brahman. Because that's who you are. And that's our job in this life if this is the path we've decided on. It's not talking about religion. It's not talking about what we should be doing. It's not talking about, it's not talking about it's not talking about how much of the Gita I've memorized. It's not, none of that. That's really irrelevant if it does not change our character and make us better, closer to what we, our true self. I mean, Swamiji preached that be strong, know who you are, go forward, stop not until the goal is reached. Okay, we can repeat those things, but we have to do it. And that's the hard part. It's getting out, like taking a walk every single day, even in bad weather. It's not pleasant necessarily, but it's something that it is doing it. And we have to do it as long as we're in these bodies and experiencing this life. And if you continue to do it, we're going to consistently, you find that you're not afraid anymore because you're strong. You are. You have all the strength of the universe inside you. You have the Holy, you have the Divine Mother. You have Brahman. What is there to be afraid of? What is there to fear? Because everything is you. But we have to reach the point where we feel that. We know it. And as I say, it's hard work. It's hard work until, like Ramakrishna kept saying, you set your sail. The breeze of grace is always blowing. The self-effort, the choices are setting your sail. And you have to make the effort. You have to make that effort so that your sail can catch the breeze. But it's always there. And it actually is carrying us along all the time and we don't realize it. We don't recognize how much grace we have. You can go back and look at your life. Don't get stuck there. Don't rehash it, but just take a look, a quick look, and see all of the things in your life that have led to where you are right now. And as someone said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And see how every single one of the things that has occurred in your life has put you right here, right now. And that's the grace. Even though we didn't know it at the time that things were happening. But that is the grace that all of us feel. That all of us have. And we have to learn to recognize it. We all have that grace. Practically every minute of our day. And then you can sing the Louis Armstrong song, It's a Wonderful World. No matter what's happening. I mean, we all have ups and downs, and there's high points and low points. We go for the high points, we're going to have the low point. Like they say, two sides of the same coin. You attach yourselves to the high points, you're going to have the low points. Buddhists say middle path. Middle path gets a little boring sometimes because we do get distracted. But and we have to decide, we want God. That's the main thing. We really want God. But now how do we want to be in this life? Do we want contentment and joy, or do we want elation and excitement and happiness like this? I mean, what do we want? How do we want it to be? I think when we're young, we want the happiness. Everything happening all the time. We're going from one activity to another. I think as we get older, contentment is a very nice state. To be content with whatever is happening and know that it too will pass. Because everything that happens in this material world is non-eternal. Nothing is going to last forever. So even if it's a hard time, it's not going to last forever. It's going to change, just like our moods change, just like we change. So that's where I would say we're given the illusion that we have free will. And we do to a certain extent, but as you say, it's within parameters if we know what our goal is. We're also given discrimination. So we do have the choices in life to make for a positive or negative. I mean, that's another way of saying it. We live in the negative or we live in the positive. Which one do you want? mean, we know the people who always see the worst of everything that goes on. And it's very hard to kind of lift them up because it's always, they're like Eeyore. They're definitely like Eeyore. And his friends stayed with him no matter what. They let him just be Eeyore. Now, do you all know Winnie the Pooh? Okay. Because Eeyore just sat there with it, looking, it's a bad world, everything's wrong. And he was sad all the time. And Pooh, of course, never was. Pooh saw the good thing in everything. So we just have a certain roles we're playing. And we all have to help each other. Because we are all connected. And that's part of being human also. We are an animal that we all need each other. And I think that was one of the hardest things that we're still recovering from with COVID and the pandemic. Everyone is still recovering from the isolation. And it'll take a while because it was very dramatic and it was very intense. So it will take a while to reestablish our lives the way we want them to be. But if we keep in mind, it is all just a play. Even COVID was just a play. It was the dramatic, terrible part.
A nightmare part.
A nightmare, yeah, right. But it's over. Now it's the flu, or a bad cold. It's been downgraded to that state. Because everything moves, everything changes, everything evolves. And someone, I think it was Swamiji, also said, strength is flexibility and adaptability. That's what real strength is. You have to be adaptable, flexible, and move on with the times. Move on with the events, move on with the circumstance. And God knows Swamiji was a prime example of that. Prime example. Flexibility, adaptability. He came as, how old was he when he came to the United States? I'm no good with numbers. I mean, I'm really asking. He was so young. And he moved into American houses with American families, men and women all together, and adjusted, adapted. They became his families, and he became their son, and he lived with them. Now how many of us could do that, being picked up off the street or going into a foreign country? He did speak the language, thank God. But in a time when he was the wrong color. He was definitely the wrong color for society in that day and age.
It was the wrong everything, wrong religion.
Well, but the color was what showed on the streets.
That's true.
And as soon as he gave his speech in the Parliament of Religions, it wasn't the wrong religion.
Oh,
So, and he was giving talks earlier than that. He was giving talks in churches in the Northeast before the Parliament of Religions and being entertained at Harvard and all of that. No, his intellect and his power was recognized. But as I say, walking down the street, not the good color in the United States. He didn't wear the turban when he walked down the street.
We saw a movie where he was chased by men with a stick and dogs because of his outfit.
Which
And
movie?
possibly the
Which
color.
movie was that?
It was a movie made by India.
Well, the only incidents I have heard about are in the South and in Texas and in the trains and the hotels. But movies are made and they make them more dramatic than they sometimes they do. They're not, documentaries are not necessarily completely true. They have a new one coming out tonight on PBS.
PBS is
Hmm?
PBS is fine. And it's also
Yeah,
the online.
on Vivekananda, but it's going to be shown on PBS, aired on PBS.
Can
And
someone share the link when it comes out?
I put it on the,
you did?
you're not on the WhatsApp anymore. I'll send it out an email.
yeah, it's already out. Lots of people have
If
seen
it's
it.
on the website, I'll see it.
I'll put it out on the.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've heard it's fairly accurate. Fairly accurate. Mostly.
Has to be. Swami Sarvapriyananda ji, Midananda ji, and you said Rajaprana ji, they're all involved.
Mhm.
Yes, they're
So
all
they're in it,
involved,
they're in it,
but-
they didn't make it.
But they didn't edit it.
They would always
And it's,
refute.
we've seen, a lot of people have seen it and they said it's, very good in what it does. And it's opening up Swamiji and Vedanta to a vast audience. Now, some of the people that I know are having problems with the actor because we all have our own ideas. I know I saw a movie that was made in India years and years ago, and that someone played Ramakrishna, and I was so sorry I saw that movie because it wasn't my picture of Ramakrishna. And it took me a long time to get the picture out of my head as a visual person. So, but that's individual things. The information is fantastic, they say. So, is that?
Any other questions? Anything you want to bring up now? It's been an amazing weekend, my God.
I know.
Wow.
Would you like to go have croissant?
Well, let's tell everybody about what's coming up too.
Okay, you tell them what's coming.
Yeah, because we got lots happening in our beautiful little center here. Let's do this so that everybody kind of can get a chance to screen out of the screen. First of all, thank you, Krishnaprana ji. Thanks.
Oh,
Can we all
thank
just
you.
give her our
I've enjoyed meeting all of you here in Las Vegas. I know how much Vijayananda loves it over here.
we love him too.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure.
But to come all the way, spend 3 days with us like you did, give us this retreat. Wow,
My pleasure.
it's a lot of effort. I know we know. So we thank you so much, and you're welcome at any time for sure for a return visit. I know your friends would love to see you again too. And Pravrajika ji, I think, is also slated to come.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
She's so there. All the sisters are at the Santa Barbara Center, which is stunningly beautiful. So if you haven't seen that, you should go see it. But thank you very much. Also, we've got a bunch of things coming up. So I wanted to give you guys all a heads up, and you on Radio Land, Television Land, whatever it is. Also, a lot of people online. So this Saturday, we're going to continue the class on the essence of the Ashtavarta Gita. And I know we got some pretty good feedback from that, and there's been a lot of views online. And the idea is not just to read the book. The idea was to really give us a chance to get into that state of mind so that we can experience even just a tiny bit of it. And like Krishnaprana ji was saying, to do the work. And I think that's kind of what we have. This week, we're actually going to be going into dream interpretation in a sense of everything is a part of our own self. And every part of the dream is us, not something external. So this is really neat and kind of a good exercise. So that's this Saturday at 5 p.m. And we'll have it on YouTube and stream that. And really excitingly, the 29th, we have early Swami Vivekanada is coming. So because of the retreat that's coming up in the Monterey, so we had to have him come a little early, which is great. So he's coming on the 29th, Wednesday the 29th, Vivekananda. His class is going to be Japa, oh golly, my brain is gone now, but Japam, Mantram, and Om, which is kind of a cool topic. So that's going to be it. Yeah, he's always comes up with these great topics. So he's really smart. So he's coming, and that's going to start at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. We'll do the RT and all that sort of thing first, chanting, and then maybe his talk will start around 6 o'clock. That seems to be a good schedule so people can come after work and so on. And then next month, we have Swami Sumanasanandaji coming back again, the 14th, 15th, and 16th of June. We'll have another weekend retreat, and all this fun stuff will take place next month too. So thank you all for coming, and again, Krishnapranaji, thank you so much. It's been a joy having her, really, really seriously. She's so easy. Everything is no problem. There's not any demands. There's not anything. We just try to figure out what we can do to make her happy, you know? So that's the hardest part, is to find out what she...
happy.
Exactly. Nothing needs to make you happy, but we love doing little things that make. So thank you all. We look forward to the prasad together. I know you guys cooks and work really hard for that. We thank you so much. Everybody who does anything for the center, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, we couldn't have done this weekend without you. So thank you all. We'll see you for prasad. We'll see you guys soon. And just as we talk, Pranabji is calling with Kali Ma from Dakshineswar. So
Nice, yeah.
so here is
The
Kali.
RT, yeah,
Yeah. So we have from Panaji.
nice.
So we have a darshan from Ma. We'll pass that along. We'll see it, show it to the video audience. So you all have a darshan of Kali Ma from Dakshineswar live. So you have Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, since it's Mahamaya. There's nothing more Mahamaya than Kali Ma. Let me just pass it to everyone. Thank you. Take it and just pass it to everyone if you can. You can all have your darshan. And again, thank you so much. Jai Ma. Thank you all. Okay.